For the past few years, I've carried a pocket notebook with me everywhere I've gone. Great for to-do lists, for notes on the go, for shopping lists, whatever. And I always use this one brand. But it always bugged me that they couldn't take fountain pens. The paper just isn't good enough. Recently, I came across this brand. This is Baui. Baui is an Australian brand of notebook from Geelong in Victoria, exactly the same size as Field Notes, fits perfectly into my Field Notes cover, but awesome paper quality. It's a relatively new brand, only been around the last couple of years, and they were very gracious to send out a couple of these for me to try and to show you. And to be perfectly honest, I think this is going to be a new standard in my everyday writing setup. The paper is fantastic, and you're going to see it perform today with a bunch of writing instruments, including fountain pens. So let's look at these Baui notebooks today. So please like, subscribe, hit the notifications button, all that kind of stuff. Please consider becoming a member of this channel, where for a small monthly fee, you'll get things like priority messaging and comments, as well as early access to a bunch of my videos. But right now, let's look at these two fantastic pocket notebooks from Baui. So these are the Baui Memo Books. As I said, these have now taken the place of a well-known brand of notebook, which is the same size, sort of the same amount of pages, but lower quality paper. This paper can take fountain pens. Now, I often carry this leather case. This is from Popov Leather. It's a Field Notes. It's their Field Notes cover. I carry this really regularly with a ballpoint pen. It's either something like this Bic Click Gold, or maybe at times something like the Tactile Turn Bolt Action, or the Journeyman from Wingback. Lots of pens like that, but it's always a ballpoint pen in here, and that's for a specific reason that I will talk about in a second. But this cover is perfect for this little notebook. I've been using this, for a few weeks now, and where you're seeing, like a little bit of like folding and on the spine, of course, but you're not seeing any damage because it is well protected. Lots of people love to get their notebooks all beaten up and worn through and all that. I like them to stay at least until I've worked, through the paper. I'm going to talk a little bit about the paper, but let's talk about these. They're very simple craft covers, nice thread sewn, all that kind of thing. Australian brand, all design everything and package everything in Australia, and uses fountain pen friendly paper, and that makes such a difference for me. So in the back of this one I've been carrying, I have done some writing tests with fountain pens and a range of other bits and pieces just to give a sense of it. So I had Pilot Oro Shizuku Shinryoku in a Parker Duofold. I have Pilot Black in an extra fine Pilot Kakuno. I have Dominant Industry The Moon in a Santini Nonagon with an Architect nib. And then Jacoban's Cactus Green in a Kaweco Sport. I then wrote with a Lamy Jetstream ballpoint highlighter, Uniball Eye Broad, a Pentel Energel 07, a Unipin Fineliner 07, and a Blackwing pencil that did an eraser test. And then I wrote with a Sharpie. Now, on the front surface here, what I notice is that colors come up really well. We get definite delineation between these colors, and we see bits of shading and the odd little hit of sheen. Not a whole lot, but the odd little hit of it. From the non-fountain pens, everything wrote really nicely. Some of the colors are a little duller on this paper, but not so much. The only one that kind of struggled was the fineliner. This is lovely paper, but there is a slight tooth on it. Like, it's not super smooth like Clairefontaine or something like that. It has a little bit of a gentle texture or tooth, and the fineliner didn't really love that, as did the eraser test. But everything else, absolutely fine. If we look at the reverse of this page, what we see, Sharpie has come through, but nothing else has, which is really impressive. But what's super impressive is the lack of ghosting here. This is a pocket notebook, single page there, pocket notebook, no ghosting. Like, that's fantastic. So both sides of these pages can be used, which is an advantage with a pocket notebook, because you want to use every page. Like, I write on every page of these, and just so that I get the most out of it. And I often go back and fill in gaps. If I need to write a couple of things down, I might go find a space with a page with a little bit of space on it and fill it in. The thread binding is nice and secure on these notebooks. It's better than staple binding in a lot of ways. Firstly, there's no chance of like corrosion, but also there's more sort of points of contact, and so therefore, it sort of has more points to sort of hold. If the staple gives, it's done. Whereas with these, it's sort of a bit more sturdy. This particular one is what they call their cross grid, and it is excellent, genuinely excellent. It's sort of a cross between the grid pattern and a dot point. So it's really handy. It gives you the freedom but the structure. So I've written out a little bit of information in the front here just to give us a sense of some of it. So as a Baui Memo Book, designed in Australia from the Geelong region, which is just outside of Melbourne. This is the cross grid 5mm. I also have the blank, which I've been using one of these. I've been using one of these to sort of do some sketching, and this is an art project book that you'll see if you follow my Instagram. But yes, great paper, really loving it. 48 pages, 89 by 140 millimeters, or 3.5 by 5.5 inches. So that's standard field notes kind of size. Cover is 300 GSM craft paper. The pages are 100 GSM cream paper. It is thread sewn. It comes in blank, cross grid, and ruled. And they cost $14.95 Australian for a pack of 2. Now at the moment they are only available in Australia, so look at the Baui website, which I'll link to in the video description here. Just for the sake of that, that makes it about $7.50 per book, whereas field notes in Australia, depending on the version you get, can cost around $8 per book. So you're getting, in my opinion, a notebook of at least as good quality, if not better quality in terms of the manufacturing of the notebook than field notes. You're getting a notebook with 100 GSM paper, same amount of pages, but 100 GSM and fountain pen friendly paper. And you're getting them at a lower price. Yes, this is a fairly blank cover. This is a new company. They've only been around, I think, since like founded in 2023. So they've not been around a whole long time. And so they're doing great things already. And I have no doubt they will start to explore other styles of cover and things like that. And they hopefully will be able to maybe even collaborate with artists or, things about and do editions for them as well. One thing I loved is that they mentioned that the typeface, so this typeface here, is Memphis from the Stemple Type Foundry from 1929. So there's a nice vintage vibe about it all as well. So why do I carry a ballpoint with this when it is fountain pen friendly paper? You can see it writes beautifully with fountain pens. They show up absolutely gorgeously. These notebooks are great. If I'm sitting down to write a to-do list, I will use a fountain pen. If I'm out on the go, I will use a ballpoint simply because fountain pens take time to dry. Ballpoint, I can scribble away an answer or a phone number or a to-do item or a task or something and close the book and I'm done. And that's why for me, a ballpoint is always, tucked down in here or, I have one on me at all times because it's just super convenient. Fountain pens, great writing tools, but as on-the-go writing to-do lists, closing the book, they're not so great. But this video about the Baui Memo notebooks, I really like them. I think it's a great brand to investigate and support. I'd love to see where they're going to go, with these products in the future. You'll be seeing a lot more of these on my channel. I've got a few videos coming up about my journal ecosystem, if you want to call it that, or how I plan, all that kind of stuff, because it's all evolved and changed and it's a lot different to the last time I made any video like that. Even a year ago when I did my, what I carry for work kind of videos, now it's completely changed. It's streamlined. I think it's at a really good place. And these notebooks, these are going to feature very heavily in all of that. So a big thank you to Baui for sending me these notebooks to look at. I am so thoroughly impressed. They're nice features. As I said, I love the sewn thread binding. Even things like the little rounded corners, the simplicity of it all, it speaks to me. And it fits in my beautiful leather cover here and makes such a great everyday carry. So these are the Baui Pocket Notebooks. Simple, elegant, and do a great job with paper that really performs. So thank you for watching. Another big thank you to Baui. As I said, please like and subscribe and consider becoming a member of this channel. In the meantime, enjoy your notebooks, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.